Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Stephen Jeremy, the Kung Fu guy, and I'm going to go through today, we're talking about 5 levels of self-talk, really. Is the idea of self-talk, it's all about how you talk to yourself. It's about the communication that's going on in the back of your head. Now, there's a really great book we recommend, it's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Let me put it on screen for you real fast. Ta-da! Okay, take it away. Alright, so is the idea, this was a book I read about 10 years after I needed it because I sort of figured out most of the content all by myself. Not to say I'm anything special or amazing and stupendous, you could have do it too. But I went through some experiences in life that kind of triggered some awareness and some awakenings about, wow, I'm kind of a jerk and I need to figure out why. And working in the sandpaper factory gave me a lot of time to think and to reflect and to ask questions to myself and have some really good conversations. So, there's basically 4 levels of self-talk. 5, but the 5th one, if you already are at that level, you don't really need all this stuff. You already know it. So first level is the level of negative acceptance. It's the level of, I can't. Okay? Put that up on the board. I can't. So the idea of negative acceptance is, I can't. I'm not that smart. I'm not that disciplined. I'm not that focused. It's not in the cards for me. I have bad genetics. I don't have the money. I don't have the education. I didn't go to college. I didn't graduate high school. It's people who accept the reasons, the negative reasons to hold themselves down. And it's all running in the back of your head. It's not things you necessarily say out loud, although really a lot of times the way you talk to yourself in your head is kind of how you talk to everybody else too. So, I can't. Negative acceptance. Level 2 is the level of recognition of need to change. What that means is, I should, but I don't. I should get up early, but I don't. I should get my homework done, but I don't. I should work out more. I should eat healthier. I should stop smoking. I should stop drinking. I should stop underwater basket weaving. Whatever the case may be. It's recognizing this isn't taking me towards my life's ultimate purpose of destiny and vision and mission, but I'm not doing it. So level 2 is I recognize the need to change, but I haven't changed yet. Level 3 is something called decision to change. I no longer overeat. I never drink more than I should. It's the idea of what I don't do anymore. I don't smoke. Well, great. But then what are you focused on? You're focused on 1, being negative. I don't. I'm giving things up. But 2, I'm still focused on the behavior. Right? If I say I'm a non-smoker, I still have that idea of a smoker identity in there somewhere. I'm a recovering drug addict, or I'm a recovered drug addict. There's still the drug addict identity in there. So the idea of I never or I no longer, I'm allowing, I have decided I'm never doing this, I'm never doing that, which is a very powerful decision to make. It's very incredible. I want to commend you for that. But there's a way to make it a little bit more powerful. And that's level 4, which is the level of the better you. And that is, I am. Instead of saying I am not a smoker, I would say I am healthy and vital and alive. I am dynamic. I am full of the juice of life. I make intelligent health choices. I am vibrant and I love my life and I love the people in it. I love to serve and I love to engage. See, I'm focused on what I am. I don't even mention or even let it enter my mind, subconscious or conscious, what I am not. I'm not this, I'm not that. No, this is what I am. I focus on what I am to that, draw myself to that higher level. The highest level, the level 5, is the level of universal affirmation. That's the level of it is. And if you're at that level, really, you don't need all this stuff because you already know it. You can already deconstruct all of it. Okay? So let's go back into that level of the better you, the level of I am. Here's an easy example. We use it in my martial arts school when we're running laps. We talk about, we have somebody running, and I say, don't stop. What level of self-talk would that be? Is that the level of I can't? Is that the level of I should but I don't? Is that the level of I never? Is that the level of I am? Or is that the level of it is? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Right, it's level 3. Don't stop! I never stop. Okay, so we're running laps. And I've got the whole class running and everyone's excited and giggling. And I say, okay, everybody don't stop, everybody don't stop. And one kid stops. Hey, why'd you stop? Because you said stop? No, I said don't stop. No, you said stop. No, I said don't stop. No, you said stop. I heard you, you said stop. Well, how come everybody else kept going? Because they weren't listening. You ever had those conversations? That's a real conversation, by the way. And just so you know, I would have been that kid. You said don't stop, I heard you. Well, how come they kept going? They weren't listening. Who's right? Well, we both are, from our own perspectives. I know what I said, but he knows what he heard. That's a real conversation, by the way. And when I heard myself say, why did they keep going? Because they weren't listening. I realized who caused that situation was me as the leader. Because I didn't communicate what I actually wanted. I communicated what I didn't want. I didn't want them to stop. What I actually wanted was I wanted them to keep going. So think about in your own life, in your own language, when do you say things that aren't what you actually want? Almost every parent does it, by the way, when they say, hey, don't forget. Is that what you really want? You want them to not forget? Or is it you want them to remember? Right? And my whole life is about studying efficiency. I'm lazy. I'm efficient. But is the idea, don't forget, two things. Remember one thing. Less words, less syllables. That's what I actually want. Game on. So instead of saying to the class, don't stop, I say to the class, keep going. Ladies and gentlemen, keep going. Do a good job. Run fast. Keep going. Because if I have someone who's not paying attention, what are they going to hear? Keep going. Do either one of those suggest stopping? Right. So that's the idea. Listen to what you say, and what level is it? Is it the level of, well, I don't want this, I don't want this? Great, well then what do you want? That's the beautiful thing here in my school, is we train the senior students, whoever's out in front of class, say what you do want. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say go, I'd like to see you move from where you are onto the blue and red dots facing to the west. Ready, on your mark, get set, any questions? Hassen Pfeffer. Just see if they were listening. All right, go. And now everybody's on the dots, they're facing this way. That's what I wanted. Instead of saying, okay, I'm going to say go, and everybody's going to get a dot, but don't push each other, and don't shove each other, and don't get in each other's way, and don't be loud. How many more negatives can I give you that you'll figure out the positives and what I actually want to see? So I'm always listening for language and what people are saying because it triggers stuff. And it makes me kind of curious about where are they and what are they processing, how are they thinking about things. And I train my students to call me out on this stuff too. Because I'm not always on point. I'm not always game on. Sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I'm fatigued. Sometimes I'm distracted. And I need people in my life to kick me in the airbag with love. Game on. I'm open to that. This is why we train. This is why we want to build each other up. As I get better, they get better. As they get better, I get better. Win-win. Okay. So 5 levels of self-talk. And we have a question.
It's my question. Okay, I understand you use those when you talk to yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
When you're doing things. When you're speaking to someone, you keep it that way. So what if someone asks you a direct question? Do you smoke, or do you smoke? You say, well, I've never smoked, or I am a non-smoker, or how would you word that? Or
well, that gets into a question of identity, but if you ask me, go ahead, ask the question.
Okay. Do you smoke?
No, ma'am. I stopped at 4th grade. But see, that's a statement of fact. It's a statement of, there's no identity tied to that. It's not, I'm a non-smoker. It's, yeah, I used to smoke from 3rd grade to 4th grade, and then I stopped. And I've never gone back because that's not my life. My life is about health and vitality, expansion and growth and intelligent choices. Smoking's not really an intelligent choice. It's patently been shown to cause cancer and emphysema, and it's destructive, and it's a waste of money. Just take your money, light it on fire.
So is that why you stopped?
No, I stopped because I was in 4th grade. I was 9 years old, and it's really hard to buy cigarettes at 9.
Well, they didn't have machines back
They actually did, yes ma'am. They had the pull machines, that's how I did it, but it got harder and harder to sneak over to the bowling alley to buy them. And ultimately, it wasn't who I was. So there was a disconnect with the rush that you get of, oh, I'm sneaking to smoke, versus, that's not who I am. So it didn't fit my true identity. So that's why it faded on its own. It wasn't something I had to really struggle with.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not going to sit there and tie energy into that and, I gave that up and blah, blah, blah. No, it's just, it's like I used to crawl when I was a baby. I don't crawl anymore. I just get up and I walk. So is my identity tied to being a baby, or is it tied to being a human being an adult? Make sense?
Makes sense.
So that's really the idea of this, because this gets into the idea of the stories we tell, but these are all stories. I can't. Well, why can't you? Because they won't let me. Who's they? Well, my mom and my dad. Okay, great. And you're how old? Well, I'm 70. Okay. And your mom and dad are still around? No. Okay. So why didn't they want you to? Right? I can't talk to strangers. Good advice, except it needs to be qualified, because at 35, 40 years old, you still have an attitude of I can't talk to strangers. It's going to be very hard to be successful in business. Pretty much really hard to be successful in life. But some people unconsciously are still running on I can't talk to strangers. And so they unconsciously do this, and they're a wallflower, and I don't know how to connect to people. And because they're still running level 1 self-talk. Right? Very good replacement for that. I enjoy myself in the presence of other people. What happens if I start telling myself that story? I enjoy myself in the presence of other people. What happens? I like connecting with people. It's fun. It's a different way of looking at things, and that's totally level 4. Instead of, I never hold back, I never fail to introduce myself, I never sit on the wall and hide, versus, I enjoy myself in the presence of other people. I love to connect and to light up everybody that I meet. I love being playful. It serves me and it serves the people around me. Which is a better story to tell? But I can't answer that question for you, just me. I know which one I like better. It's the second one. I enjoy myself in the presence of other people, and I do. It's fun to talk to people and to understand their world and their point of view, because it's just different from mine. I love that connection. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So a little bit longer than I meant, but that's okay. It's good stuff. So, 5 levels of self-talk. Negative acceptance, recognition of need to change, decision to change, the better you, universal affirmation. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, you make it a fantastic evening, daytime, whatever it is. I will see you when I see you. Make it outstanding.